Sparkman Wharf, where did that whole idea came from? Because when you first joined SPP, you didn't own that property, right?
We did. We bought it right before I started. Yeah, it's the old photos of
Look
Channelside
at
Bay
that,
Plaza. So
man.
this is from
Wow.
2015. These are images I took when I was coming in town,
And
and
so the shipping containers would be on your right where those
yeah,
buildings are.
yeah. So we tore down that building, and Oblataka there. I remember the Splitsville guy and Mark who at Splitsville did that for us because we needed something at our front door. They were our long-standing tenant at Channelside. They're still there, and they have Joe Toro in the front. So that was pretty much the only that and Splitsville were the only things that were really open. We had a couple of tenants, Willie's and what have you.
Was
That
Stump Supper Club there when you came to
no,
Tampa? No? I might be talking like
yeah,
way back in the day.
Regal had closed. I mean, it was pretty scary going up in the Senate. So, but this is what it looked like, and we believe that, which turned out to be true, that tearing down the building you saw on the right opened up the entire complex. That it was blocked off. You did not see the water, and I think maybe the intent of that time is we don't want to see the industrial
I wanted to
waterfront.
ask you about that shift because real
Yeah,
estate development has changed so much in your career.
yeah,
And when I was young, most development in Florida, at least, I only really know Florida, looked like that. It was
yeah,
all like drive to, insulated, closed
yeah,
off. Here you are on the waterfront
yeah,
and you can't even see the water.
yeah.
So why do you think the shift has occurred in the last, what would that be? Maybe 15, 20 years? I'm assuming this was built in the early 2000s.
This was built in the late '90s, and at the same time as when they built the Sundial and they built Ybor, the Central Ybor,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of that mindset of these big entertainment complexes,
Huh.
and they pretty much all failed. Yeah, this was the highway of Channelside, and
Notoriously.
this is Channelside looking back towards downtown. Obviously, the highway signs is what it felt like, and then the other image you were just showing was was Water Street. That's that's Water Street.
The trolley's
Look,
still there, just clinging on
yeah,
for dear life.
yeah, yeah.
What a
So
ride that was back then.
yeah,
And
if
going
you were on
through,
it,
yeah,
yeah,
if you were on it, right. And there's the mill.
yeah,
Now, is that Water Street right there where we're looking at that main drag? That might be.
yeah.
I think it is.
It's moved a little bit. We shifted it over, I don't know, 50 feet the other way to make better block sizes, but yeah, generally it's the same place.
So the decision to redo Sparkman had to do with
Fergs,
Fergs
yeah,
was fantastic,
yeah,
which has been replicated, not replicated, but a similar concept. Poorhouse is great too.
yeah.
So with Sparkman Wharf, sounds like that was a key piece of entertainment that you
Yeah,
needed to have in
yeah, it
on
was
that east
entertainment, but a
side.
different type of entertainment. So, so we converted, as you know, I think as you know, all the old theater space into office space, which became really, really unique office space, fully leased. Our own offices were in there, and did a pretty extensive rehab of the building. The building is on a ground lease. The Port Authority owns the land and the parking garage and the garrison lot. So we had a very close relationship with the port and acquired those sites and long-term ground leased them, made the improvements into them, really embraced the ship, and thought that was something that was cool,
100%.
which the port really enjoyed. We managed that parking garage, which allowed us to create better utilization of the parking, not just around cruise ships for Lightning games and Marriott employees and what have you. And yeah, and tore down that building in the corner there, which allowed the opening up in the green space and the beer garden, which has been very successful. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's incredibly well done. It really is.
it was fun.
It's a
But also when we
much
opened it, it was kind of like, is this what Water Street's going to be like? I'm like, no, it's a totally different experience. Like
right.
this was meant to be more casual, just kind of a place you go have a beer in the afternoon on a weekend, and that was also fun. Just kind of think about the different types of experiences we would offer.
A really cool office amenity for those upstairs tenants too.
Yeah.
So the shipping container idea, where did that come from?
We hired a really great architect called Groundswell Studios, which does a lot of really fun immersive, a lot of park oriented and like kind of public spaces, and they helped us conceive that. So I work a lot very early on with this project. We engaged a company called Of Place, which is a master retail strategist, and I worked a long time with the founders of that company in DC, and now we do a lot of work together actually in my consulting side. But they helped conceive what this place could be and why, with the goals that we had of creating this great experience for the arena, but also a place for the 5,000 residents in Channel District they could enjoy.
Right.
So I think you remember at the time there were 10 containers. We went out to 40 or 50 of the local restaurateurs and offered a 1-year license deal, and just kind of an experiment. Like, it was honestly like a experiment with food. Um, like for Alvarez, he obviously has a number of containers now. It's kind of grown. Jeannie Parole has been
It's
there
a
with Swig of a
restaurant
Jig forever.
incubator,
It's
kind
incubate
of.
exactly, and a lot of them have moved up into, Naked Farmer started here,
Yeah.
and so they've grown up into Sticks and Bricks locations, and that was always the intent. So Ginny's is the only one I think that had a kind of a longer term deal.
Hey guys, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, click right here. Make sure to subscribe by clicking right here. Thank you for watching.